So I'd love both of you to comment a little bit on where Google is. What are the couple of things that become really, really critical for Google to do in the next 5 to 15 years? What areas are going to be critical?
I think if there were a couple areas that were critical, then that would be too vulnerable a spot to be in a way. I mean, there are many opportunities to broadly use technology to impact the world and to have a successful business, and we try to invest in at least in the places where we see a good fit to our company. But that could be many bets, and only a few of them need to pay off. I guess from my perspective, running Google X, that's kind of my job is to invest in a number of opportunities, each one of which may be a big bet. But I hope, well, I guess you have a portfolio too, but I hope across that portfolio some of them pay off, and some of them are connected to our existing business and some not so much. If you look at the self-driving cars, for example, I hope that could really transform transportation around the world and reduce the need for individual car ownership, the need for parking, road congestion, and so forth. So, if that was successful in its own right, I'd be super happy. It's obviously still a big bet. It's got many technical and policy risks. But if you are willing to make a number of bets like that, you got to hope that some of them will pay off.
Mm-hmm. Larry, any particular areas you think are critical to Google's success the next few years? Areas you don't want to screw up in?
I mean, I think we're pretty excited about Android. Android, obviously. I think that we have our traditional purchases, obviously search and things like that. I think one of the things people have been confused about, people are like, well, what is Google? Why are you guys coherent? And it's really interesting when you look at search, just really trying to understand everything in the world, make sense of it, organize it for people. We kind of say, well, we're doing that, and a lot of the queries are actually about places, and we need to understand places. And then we say, well, a lot of the queries are, about content we can't find, we do books, and so on. So we've kind of been gradually expanding that. And if you look at things like Google Now also, actually, well, maybe you don't want to ask a question. Maybe you want to just have it answered for you before you ask it. That would be better. Originally the I'm feeling lucky button, I was supposed to be, you should be able to skip the search results and go directly to the answer. Unfortunately, it didn't work that well. It was kind of an obtuse naming of the feature. But that was the same kind of idea. And I guess we feel like right now the computers are still pretty bad. I mean, you're just messing around, you're kind of scrolling on your touch screen phone and trying to find, you're in a car and it's bouncy and it doesn't really work. And so I think the actual amount of kind of knowledge you get out of your computer versus the amount of time you spend is still pretty bad. And so I think our job is to kind of solve that, and most of the things we're doing make sense in that context.